Why is our audio not working? There we go. That should be working now better. Oh, so? Boy. All right. It's going to be a little editing this afternoon for our podcast. There we go. See, I'm hearing it now. There you guys. Let's try it again. Let's try it again. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. We do have the audio working now. It worked earlier, but I done plugged it to charge it in and all that. I'm in I'm in off season form. How about we roll the open in three, two, one? Let's play a little music for you.
Well, it's baseball time in Siouxland once again. The Explorers are out to bring home another win.
All right.
And when they take the field, they'll be hitting and running and stealing. So come out to the park for that big league good time. Baseball, Sioux, baseball, hold on to yours, just won't be beat.
All right, fade it down, fade it down, fade it down. Let's fade it down and stop it. Baseball Sioux City style. Glad you're along. It's been a while, right? It's been a while. It's been what, 39 sleeps? Is that what I got here? Yeah, my script. This is 39 sleeps is what we had since the last time we all chatted. Now, I do want to give you the dog candidate because he's here in the studio as well. I'm going to show him to you right now. There he is. He's kicking it. Max made it back from Iowa. He's here. He's in the studio today. He's asleep. He's comfortable now. And notice he's wearing his socks. We replaced our floors last year, and he slides around like he's on skates. So Max has got his socks on. He's looking good. Anyway, uh, go back to the other camera, though, as we shoot both cameras here. There we go. Back here. Taylor, good to see you as well. Explorers Expresso. It's the live show and the podcast here. We're on Facebook Live. We're on my YouTube. We're also, for the first time ever, I noticed this morning, looking at some numbers, a couple of folks posted this from different channels around, and it was that the Instagram numbers. I'm thinking, you know what? That's a place we could go. So we're on Instagram today. Thought I'd give it a shot. Don't know how that's working out for us, but we'll find out. We also know that we have Steve Montgomery coming up in about 10 minutes. He'll join me. We'll get caught up on what's been going on. I'm going to start with one question for y'all. All right, let's start with one question. Pretty simple. And I want you guys to go ahead and answer this as you can. How do you feel 39 sleeps later? How are you feeling? Are you feeling better about things? Since we last chatted back on September 5th, 6th, we actually did a show on that 8th, right? 7th or 8th. But how are you feeling now? How are you feeling now? Do you feel better? Do you feel worse? Uh, do you feel, uh, and I think it's a little bit for me, I'll just tell you where I'm at, and I'll want to know where you guys are at. For me, every day gets a little better. As I step back a little further, it's a little better every day, just a little bit better. Uh, I think as we get probably to next month and into December, you'll look back on 2025 as a success, irregardless of how things turned out on the field, how it ended against Sioux Falls, all that. But I think you'll feel better as time heals wounds. And as we look back, and I know this is like this for whether it be my alma mater, high school days, favorite team seasons that may have ended in disappointment. As you step back, that wide angle lens, it looks a lot better. And I don't know where Mongo's at. We'll hear from him in a few minutes. Get caught up on that. But how you feeling? I want to know, and I'll ask you that a couple times in the show. And for you folks in the podcast, you can ponder that as you're listening to the audio side. You folks live, let me hear from you. How you feeling? How do you feel 39 sleeps later, 39 days later, after the fact? How are you feeling? So that's my first question for you right there. And I'll bring that down right there. Coming up on the show, I mentioned Steve Montgomery. We're going to basically play catch up, right? What have you missed? What have we missed? What's been going on? And this is going to be a little more league centric. The other question I know is going to come up, and it came up on our Discord chat. It's good to see David out there as well. Is where is the schedule for 2026? I can tell you that if we were making I don't know, something in the oven, it's getting close. I expect next week we will probably be doing a break-in show, maybe perhaps next Tuesday or Wednesday, maybe Monday. But you're going to see an announcement, and we'll do it right here live on our show, and we'll have it all up on our website. We're going to break down when that schedule does come out. We'll break it down like we always do, month by month, ebbs and flows. We'll really dive hard into it. We'll have Tom Backmeyer on to talk about the promotional side of it and just his thoughts on it. And we might even have Mongo jump back on, but that's coming. It's not today. So if you wanted schedule today, we don't have that today. Although you probably saw the headlines in the league that the banana balls come into a couple of ballparks. The Lincoln football stadium has got the bananas themselves there at the Memorial Stadium. Sioux Falls has got banana ball going on. Um, Steve, Steve Shoemaker, our first answer to the question, he says it was a great year. It was so hard to win at this level. And it's so hard to win at this level. The Explorers have done it consistently for the last several years. They're close to breaking through. Steve, I think that's where I'm at now. After watching what King County did, and I'm going to play that for you in a moment, just their final highlight. Steve, I think I'm kind of with you. It's hard to be successful in this league over and over again. And yes, 8 teams make the playoffs, but this organization is consistently there. Now, I will probably tell you that down the road, we'll discuss this a lot, that maybe perception of how you finish is not as important as getting in, but that's a discussion for maybe down the road, or maybe to ask Mongo that as well. But again, Steve asking or answering the question, how do you feel 39 sleeps later? He says it's a great year. And I would agree with that. I would agree 100% with that it was a great year. What else we missed as we last spoke? Well, let's start with, let's kind of work our way backwards. Now I want to work with, let's go with the Sioux City side of things. This man right here, Bruce Fishback, our trainer, was named Trainer of the Year in the American Association. Congratulations, Bruce. I mean, this is a guy that it's one of those positions when you're the trainer of a ball club, if you need him, that's when you know how great he is. You don't want to see him, right? You don't want to see him, hear from him. You don't want to see the trainer on the field, right? You want to see him behind the scenes, helping guys kind of, I don't know, maybe recover the nicks and bruises, but you don't want to see him out there in the crux of things, right? When you're seeing the trainer out there, that's bad news. That's not bad. That's bad news, right? But if you don't have one, that's bad news. And he's been great, man. And congratulations to Bruce, man. He's a great guy, great representative of our organization. There he is with our owner, John, right there. That was the last weekend of the season. That was the last game, a playoff game right there. But a well-earned honor, a guy that deserves every bit of it. First class all the way. Family's great. He's great. He's great for our area. I mean, I can't go on and on enough about that man, about what he means to our organization. Congratulations. So if you guys missed that, congratulations to Bruce Fishback, our trainer, as again named the Athletic Trainer of the Year. And again, it's one of those deals. It's sort of like being, I don't know what else I can compare it to. Winning social media team or winning manager of the year, you kind of see that, right? But you see the social media work, whatever it is you see. The field, Lincoln wins the best field every year, and you see it, right? But you kind of don't really see what goes on with this gentleman. You just don't see it, and you don't really want to, because if you see more of him, that's probably bad. But I can tell you, and Bruce chimes in. Thank you very much, and man, you're a class act, man, and congratulations. And we posted all this earlier, but a lot of it we didn't go live then and all that. But I wanted to give him his shout out and his due shout out, because he and his family are very special to us, and he's special to me, and just a really good dude. And I'm happy for that award. I mean, that's an award that, again, it's one of those you don't realize you don't have one, right? That's the kind of deal. So congratulations to Bruce on his accomplishment there. So that's one thing you missed. What else have you guys missed? Well, league wide, you missed it really was the King County show. If you've been watching in the social channels of the league, a couple things. First off, our dear mate Curtis Haug. I've known Curtis, the GM of the King County Cougars. I've known him since 1993. We worked together in Charleston, West Virginia. Kurt is the executive of the year. Once again, King County led the league in attendance pretty easily. Now Chicago was challenging, but they were great. Uh, but King County does things right. And here's the deal: we're never going to be King County. And I understand that, right? But what you can be is a piece of King County because what they do, their principles, the way they work and do their job as a front office, everybody should be paying attention to. And I firmly believe, I've said this year in and year out, that everybody should take a field trip to King County, every front office. I don't care if you're Winnipeg, I don't care if you're Chicago, I don't care where you're at. Every front office should take a field trip. Now, I know Tom Backmeyer can back me up because Tom's been there. Tom knows, our VP knows that just how good King County is. He knows. He also knows you can take, pieces of the puzzle. We don't have the market they have. We don't have millions of people, but you can still do the things they do. And congratulations to Curtis. Curtis is a good dear mate. Congratulations as well to that organization because they did something, a couple other things too. I just haven't passed it along. I'm going to open the order, but wrong way. There we go. Best promotion. I love this. The Pope Leo promotion. I don't know if you guys saw this. It was voted best promotion in the association, the Pope Leo bobblehead. Now, we had the Mongo bobblehead. Uh, uh, I would say that Mongo and the Pope are definitely not on equal footing, but they are on equal footing when it comes to being heavenly. How about that? All right. There we go. But yes, bobblehead. I still think Mongo's bobblehead was best, but that's just me. I'm a selfish guy, but again, King County, the Pope Leo bobblehead, and then for Chicagoland area, and then best overall fan experience went to King County as well. And again, tip of the cap to those folks in King County. They do a great job. And again, we can all learn so much from King County and what they do. Now, the one more thing they did is they won the thing. There's George Samus. He won won the thing, back-to-back titles. George has been a legend in St. Paul, one of those 1,000-game winners in partner baseball. We call it now, independent partner. George, again, congratulations. You see that on your screen, you folks on the podcast. It's a photo of George, and there's the champagne, the toast, and the Miles Wolf Cup, and all that there in King County. But again, another big year for the King County Cougars. Congratulations to King County. Great work. Congratulations to them. Fine work. And it, 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 I'll ask the question in a moment. Let me bring this down here for you. But I do want to play the final out. And this was the final out, double play ball, I believe. I can find it for us here on my screen, but congratulations to those folks. Final out right here. This is how it sounded, courtesy of the American Association. Let's play it right here. Oops, there we go.
On the ground at third, Final to second for one, to first, and the Cougars are back-to-back champions. The Miles Wolf Cup is coming to Kane County once again. Their backs were against the wall. They were 3 outs away from elimination, and the Cougars can celebrate again.
And you get the idea right there. That's the final out right there of those King County Cougars. And again, congratulations to King County for their fine work this year. Again, great work again. I mean, again, there's a lot to dissect there. But again, it's not lost on me. What they did was impressive. And we segue right into things right here because right on time, joining us from, I believe, Sioux City, I think he's joining us from Sioux City. There he is, Steve Montgomery. Mongo, how you doing, my friend?
Good. How about yourself, Dan?
I'm doing good. Good to see you, man. Looking good as always.
Yeah,
Looking great. Things going well
trying.
for you?
Yeah, going well. Just obviously into a little bit of off-season mode. Um, trying to find some guys, trying to locate some guys, trying to, get a list of names and stuff like that.
where are you? Break it down for us because we do this every year. But break it down. Where what point are you in right now, or what phase are you? I mean, are you kind of in? I mean, it's obviously early going, but what would you call this phase? Is there a word for what you're trying to do?
Yeah, I would just call it the accumulation phase. I did send out a contract today to a young catcher. Got a good report on him. Catch and throw type guy. Played at the Division 1 level. Kind of got passed over in the draft, but several major league organizations came recommended, and so we're gonna give him an opportunity. Come in, see what he can do. There's obviously, today, October 15th, Pioneer League guys officially became free agents today. So we've been dissecting and going through numbers and analytics and everything like that for the last 2 weeks, trying to identify the next Chase Jesse, the next Josh Day, stuff like that. So right after I get off the phone with you, Dan, I'm going to call probably four specific guys that we have targeted and see if we can come to an agreement with a contract.
As far as that first, I mean, you did step away, right? You stepped away for a short time. I mean, I know because you were grinding. It's a grind. Did you get a chance to step away a little bit?
Yeah, I stepped away probably 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, just to get that mental break, just to get that that digestion of how the season ended. It's not an easy way for anybody that was involved with the team to see it end that way. But you take time to reflect upon what you were able to accomplish, what you were able to accomplish with a very young team, what you were able to accomplish is nothing short of a impressive season. To do it with that group of young men who obviously you're on the road with us, who put the guy next to him ahead of themselves, and just the culture that was in that locker room and the leadership, and um, it was short of an amazing season. I'd love to be talking to you right now, and saying that everybody is coming back because that was a special group, and that's our goal, is to bring as many of them guys back as possible. They were a low maintenance group as far as managers go, as far as like controlling that clubhouse. They did, I didn't have to step foot in there. They were ready to play each and every night. But um, we'll see. Some guys are going to get jobs, some guys are going to get married. There's all kinds of things that factor into this.
Steve Shoemaker says, congratulations on a great season, Steve. And we're talking here on Explorers Expresso. Dan Vaughn with you. Steve Montgomery, the official podcast and live show of the Sioux City Explorers. Our first show, it's kind of a soft launch into the off season, our first off season show. You brought up, and I'll follow up here, my journalism hat here. Do you feel, I mean, early, but do you feel like you'll be able to keep some of the band together? That I know that you know you can't keep them all, but you feel like encouraged you'll be able to get some of those folks that you liked so much back.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. You know, um, Obviously, uh, we're going to take it one person at a time, I guess, per se. We did. Um, I got one piece of the band back together. I'll just tease the fans about that. That won't be something till obviously later in the off season. But we've agreed, to terms and stuff like that. So, he wants to keep his options open for obviously Major League Baseball and for Mexico and stuff, um, and that's fine. There has to be a lot of trust inside of this. That I trust them that they're not gonna, you know, go around and sign with a different league or a different team. But we've agreed to terms, and that's the thing that garnered like my respect for these guys, is that each and every day they came and they played hard, right? And at the end of the day, I trusted them, and that's not going to change here in the off season. So I think we'll be able to keep most of the band. Obviously, there might be some guys that get some MLB chances. There might be guys that get Mexican League chances. So, um, that's going to be a wait and see. I mean, because at the end of the day, I can't match a 75 or a 10 grand a month offer that some of these guys might get in Mexico. So a good chance to make some good money. So I can't match that, and I understand that, and that could be the next step for some of these guys. Some of these guys are young enough to where I would tell them you're probably too young to go to Mexico and stuff. So, um, but we'll figure it out. Obviously, um, what what they did offensively and off the mound is pretty special. And obviously, we want to try to. I think we finished fourth in the league in hitting, second or third in the league in pitching. So obviously, we want to keep as many members as we can, and then obviously sprinkle in some what we feel like could be some improvements to kind of maybe get over the hump.
Floors Expresso here, Dan Vaughn and Steve Montgomery with you here. See everybody out there. If you guys have a question, do fire it off. Uh, as far as there's already been one small roster move. It was the transactions on the 23rd. I want to give you a chance to go with the trade. I guess is with the Jared Weatherby situation. Is that what that was
Hmm.
from the
Yeah,
Milwaukee deal? Can you fill us in on that?
yeah. I mean, we wanted to get another right-handed arm out of the pen. We had identified Tanaj Thomas as a guy we felt as though if Bobby uh, could get his hands on him, maybe we could get him back to where he was. This is a young man who was 98 to 102 miles an hour when he was a starter in Pittsburgh. So um, when we saw him, he's 94, 95. We didn't feel like he was getting into his lower half enough. The knee was collapsing. So we know there's more in the tank. But once you get into these mechanical flaws, let's call them, it's hard to break, and it's not going to happen overnight. This is good. This is an off-season thing. So, we gave Tanaj a bunch of drills that we felt as though would be necessary to do, and then obviously you're getting a double A arm. So to trade so late in the season, there's going to be big return, and they identified Jared Weatherby as a guy that they wanted, and you know. When you give up quality or when you're getting quality, what we feel is quality, you're going to give up some quality. So it's not like we wanted to lose Jared Weatherby, but it was something that we felt as though to possibly make a run at a championship, we needed another right-handed arm. It didn't work out as far as us getting to the championship or bringing home a championship, but um, I want to thank Jared Weatherby for 3 years of unbelievable performance, and he'll sorely be missed. But we wish him all the best in a new situation there in Milwaukee.
Let me ask you this about the trade, and because he's a piece, he's a good piece. He's obviously was a
Mhm.
really good piece, but and I'm not trying to get you to toot your own horn, but if you do, I'm fine with that because that's the idea. Is I want you to toot your own horn, but this is a deal that we talk about a lot of these. We've had this in our organization. We've made trades. We've got a bag of nothing. This is not a bag of nothing. This is a quality trade. This is what you want. Is this kind of A for A? Do you feel like making what I call quality trades with, let's call it honest to trade, an honest, fair deal is going to benefit this thing in the long run? That people know that, hey, when we trade with Sioux City, we're not going to get a bag of nothing.
Well, if you look at our trade history with Milwaukee, right? Scott Oda for Abdul Lair, Jared Weatherby for Tanaj Thomas. I know that I can make trades with Anthony, and we are going to get quality pieces in return. So a lot of these trades and a lot of people you trade with in this league, you get a whole bag of nothing. So now there are times when I'm looking to deal a guy that just needs a change of scenery, that I'm
Right,
just going to do it for a player to be named later. But I'm going to state that to him
right.
that it's a player to be named later, but more so, I'm looking for an opportunity to
Lost you there
get.
for a moment, buddy. There we go. There you go. Sorry.
but like I wanted something. I wanted something. He wanted something for me, and you know what? Anthony and I have always done great business together. So it's a trade partner that I know I can trust, and it's been great doing business with Anthony.
Flores Expresso, Dan Vaughn and Steve Montgomery with you. We have a question here. One of the fans, Jason's asking, big bats? I would think you'll be looking for a big bat, right? You'd probably be looking for a big bat, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, I felt as though maybe that was a missing piece. When you look at our team as a whole, maybe a power hitter. But at the same time, you know, 275 stolen bases. You're gonna increase strikeout numbers. Does a home run hit? So yeah. I mean,
Right.
listen. If a triple A guy felt, I can agree to a triple A guy that is going to come in and hit 20 homers, hit 270. Yeah, I mean, come on. I think
Right.
anybody in this league, but we have found a niche inside the league that allows us to have some success. We have a bigger ballpark. Um, we have a ballpark that is pitcher friendly, but at times hitter friendly too. Let's just be honest. Like it's all like if I'm building in other ballparks, right? Obviously, wind direction plays into like what I'm doing. So if I would happen to be a manager in, let's just say my old stomping grounds of Fargo, the wind blows out to right field. Right center field is a homer friendly kind of area. Right field line's a homer friendly. Left center is an absolute cavern. Right. So I know I'm going to go with probably a little bit of left-handed power, maybe some right-handed on base percentage guys and stuff like that. Here, man, this year was, man, one day it's blown out to left, one day it's blowing to right, one day it's blowing the center, one day it's blowing in, one day it's corner to corner. So our wind direction has been all kinds of just craziness. So, um, you know, uh, yes, I am going to look for a power bat somewhere on the infield or maybe the outfield, maybe a DH, maybe a catcher. Like so, um, but that's not at the same time saying I don't want to bring back all of what I have. It's um, competition's good. Competition is good inside of your spring training. Competition is good for off-season training, off-season everything. That's not to say that the guys I'm going to bring back aren't going to be here. They are. But just bringing in competition, that's my job. My job is to bring the best 33 players I feel like into camp and let the competition begin. And you have 10, 14 days to kind of narrow your roster down and figure it out.
I'm with Steve Montgomery, manager of the Sioux City Explorers. Dan Vaughn with you in Explorers Expresso. Okay, so the field, the roster going toward the field for next year. I'm looking at my notes here, but I'm just gonna just to talk about a couple things going on behind the scenes. There are a little field work going on. I understand.
Yeah, yeah. We always have had the where the walk-ups are, right? Where we grassed in the walk-ups. So there used to be dirt walk-ups, and we grassed those in to kind of give the whole halo look. Um, uh, we have, in fact, you know what? Watch this. Yeah, you know, I can be
Yeah,
mobile because I got some
yeah.
earbuds. So,
You
um,
just walk out there. There it
yeah, I can
goes.
just walk out there. Credit goes to our owner. Obviously Tom, our entire front office for um, really.
Uh oh. Uh oh. I lost Mongo Cam. Well, we'll wait. He'll come back to us in a moment. We'll wait for him to come back. He'll have to. He must have bounced off the internet. He was walking out to the ballpark there, but again, they've he'll be back with us in just a moment here. Dan Vaughn with you, Steve Montgomery, chatting about the great stuff that's going on behind the scenes. One of them is there at the ballpark, the field. I talked to Tom Backmeyer about that a couple days. Actually, yes, today's Wednesday, so Monday we chatted about that, and I just realized that my lights and stuff are kind of in the way here. They're not supposed to be in the camera there. Anyway, All right, here we go. He's back. He's back. He's back. He's back. He's back. He's back. Let's get him back on. Here we go. He's back. One,
Okay.
two, three. There he is. I got Mongo Cam going now.
Okay. I don't know. Let me.
I got you.
You got me. Okay. It's not going through my earbuds, but I just want to show the fans. So we were able to contact a guy. He used to be the A's either head guy or kind of assistant. I can't recall it right what he was, but what we did was is that we had those burnout spots, right, and stuff. So he came in with a laser level. He has lasered everything. We were 2.5, 3.5 inches, 2.5 to 3.5 inches low around home plate. So what we did was brought in some black dirt, brought in a ton of sand. When I tell you a ton of sand to lift that. We also cut down the baselines. Our baselines were low. We cut those down. Our back edge of the infield was low. We lifted that up, and you're. This is unbelievable how good the field looks right now. I'm just gonna give
Here we
people a
go.
look at it.
Wow. Wow.
This is we
Look
brought
at
in
that.
special sod that only major league teams use and stuff. So you can see that we cut right here. You can see the line that we cut. Right here we've lifted everything. So this is, and if you look at the edge now, at if you just look at the edge and
See
how
it?
crisp and clean the edges are now, and obviously we're always going to have a slope back to our drains, but what we're also going to do is we're going to lift these drains up and then bring more product in to, not have such a huge drop. And that's what, if you look, and this is a credit to Tom, Brett, John, our owner, and you can see this is third base line now.
Wow.
Also, if you look down first base, now we haven't edged anything, Dan, so we're just laid the sod. You can see that right here, we were low. And you remember the first base line had what? A burnout spot. So now we have to cut a straight line, obviously, but you can see that out in front of home plate, we've redone. We also did it down the line as well. The other thing we did was around the pitcher's mound. We had to lift this area.
Wow.
Uh, and you can see right here, we had to lift this area up because we were getting burnout spots here.
Yeah.
So we've lifted this area as well. And then obviously we've done the entire back edge right now. And you can see, if I don't know if I can zoom in, I can. See how you have a crisp line now?
Right.
You can see that, right? So now what we just did was is we ordered a bunch of um, kind of product, I guess. Let me see if I can turn this around now and get you back on me. I can't, but that's okay. You guys don't want to see my ugliness, anyways. Um, now
Okay.
we will put down a bunch, and he's coming back tomorrow, so we will strip all this, and we will build the infield up to match
Oh, that's
our,
great.
our our entire thing, and then what that's going to do is that's going to help us with production of getting rid of the rain, getting rid. But you can see that if you look right now, just how good our field is. Now, obviously, you have a little dead spot here and stuff like that, but that's we're not worried about that right now.
Right.
That's from wear and tear. But you can see this is out in front of the plate, out in front of the mound. We've lifted that area as well, so everything is level now. We also put down a treatment into the field, a fertilizer, but then a treatment. I've never heard of this, but I'm gonna butcher this, but it's a type of grass called like palo grass or something like that. And when you're up in the booth or up in the stands, you see the different colors, right?
Right.
That's that type of grass that we are trying to kill. We thought it was crabgrass. It's not crabgrass. It's this other grass. So we are in the process of putting down 6 treatments prior to the winter time. So we're going to put down that, and then we'll have to put down some more treatment. But I mean, the field, I've never seen the field looking this good uh, this late into the season, per se. Um, so, um,
Wow, that looks
you know,
great.
yeah, they have really done an outstanding job. And I don't, you know what, Dan, I don't even know how to get this camera to turn. Oh, there
There
it
you
is.
go. There you are.
Um,
There you are.
but it is just it's phenomenal. What John has committed to making this field be beautiful, and I can't thank him enough. And I'm excited about kind of because let's be honest, it's me, Tom, and stuff like that. Like we're trying to, let's call it guessing. Justin Mallow, we're guessing. Like we knew that area was low. We didn't know how much it was low. We don't know how to build it up. I would have never thought putting, yes, black dirt down. Yes, I would have thought that. But then the amount of sand that went in there, and the reason why that sand goes in there is for drainage purposes. I never would have thought that. And you know, so a lot of stuff. Obviously, you know, uh, season tickets. Everything of that nature. They're talking about promotions and stuff. So, I'm excited about the 26th season and trying to, figure out obviously my aspect of it, the team and stuff like that. But, we're only, as a team, we're only as good as our front office as well. So, they do a great job of building a personal schedule and, all the dates and, all the jersey giveaways and everything of that nature. And, you know, uh, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I would say so. That was awesome. That's one of the best Mongo cams we've ever done right there. That was great. That was great camera work. Great
Yeah,
camera work.
yeah.
That field looks great. Steve Montgomery with this final thing with Dan Vaughn here on the Explorers Expresso, as Buddy Jason says, looks great. Final thing. Now you and I talked last week, and again, you don't do this, so I'm having to pry this out of you. You don't toot your own horn, but you had a nice week last week. You went home to Ohio. I believe there was a bit of a honor given to you. You want to tell us what that was? I mean, you told me. I want fill us in.
Yeah, I.
First off, I didn't realize you were such a big basketball player. I didn't know that either.
I was, yeah. There was a rule in my house that my parents, both my parents never graduated high school. Both of my parents, at 16 years old, left the house. Actually, my dad left at 14 because his dad had passed away and his mom had gone into the hospital. So he went straight to the steel mill because he had to support the family and stuff. So he started working at 14. My mom left at 16, 17, got a job in the steel mills and stuff like that. And then both of them ended up getting hired by General Motors. So both of my parents were very blue collar. Factory workers, and back when you could make a decent living doing that. And my parents both were married prior to me, and ended up getting divorced and remarried, obviously. And here I am. And my parents had a rule: as long as you're playing a sport, you don't have to have a job. If you don't play a sport or you're not doing an activity, you're going to get a job. And well, uh, you have to tell me. So, hence why I played golf in the fall, basketball in the winter, baseball in the in the spring and the summer, because I didn't want to get a job. And um, we had a really good team my senior year, basketball wise, and I once you get named to a all state team, you immediately get put into the Hall of Fame. So I was named, I think, my sophomore year, junior year, to an all-state team, and then obviously my senior year ended up getting an honor of first team all-state for basketball. But our team that year finished 20-0. So our whole team went into had like a kind of like a reunion, and the whole team got put in the Hall of Fame. And so it was a nice. It's the first time. Are you there, Dan? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay,
I'm
there
here.
you
I'm
are.
here.
It was the
Yeah.
first time. It's the first time I've been back since my dad's death in 2000. Back to that area. I just think that you know it was time. I felt the timing was right. I felt as you and I have talked off the air. I did. I was able to uh, get a lot of things. In a better place, I'll just say, and able to go back and it was good. It was good to see some older guys. I might be the only guy with a full set of hair, so I feel privileged there. But it was good to see that and get back there and you know spend a week.
Now, when as we wrap things up, my final thing, my wife and I was telling, I was telling her about it because, I told her, oh, I talked to Manga today and we're talking and all that. And I said, he was a heck of a basketball player. She goes, I could see, my wife said, I could see that. Because,
I was
but
a I was a way better basketball player then in fact, I had signed to a national letter of intent to go play and everything. And then next thing you know, like our baseball team started doing good too. And next thing you know, I'm in the regional semifinals, which is the Sweet 16. We're playing number one team in the state. They're undefeated, Fairport Harbor. They got a sixth round pick on the mound. They have a shortstop that's all world and stuff. And here comes this farm school in to play them, and um, we win the game 3-0. I pitch, and I didn't know how hard I threw, Dan. I just took the ball and threw as hard, like here it is, man, like as hard as I could. And that day I was 88 to 91, and first time I'd ever been put on a gun, and I had some interest from Danny Hall, who's the longtime coach at Georgia Tech, who was at Kent State University. And I sat down with my basketball coach and my baseball coach, and I said, I know I'm not playing the NBA because I don't play the game above the rim. And my
right.
basketball coach said that you're kind of a European guy. Like I could shoot from anywhere inside the gym. You're a European type player, so you probably could play overseas. But what about what about baseball? And my coach, Coach Scott Knox, who was had played professionally, he goes, I don't know, you've never dedicated yourself to baseball. It's just something you do. I was like, yeah, so I don't have to work. And then I just decided to give baseball a shot. You know, I'm not in the Hall of Fame for baseball, which is, it is what it is. So, but yeah, I was way more time, and credit goes to my neighbor, right? My neighbor, the Meekers. His dad built a big like building, put lights on it. We had a full court, slab of concrete, and I'll tell you, we played till 3, 4 in the morning. And it's no like not I don't know the word I'm looking for, but our starting point guard lived on our street. I lived on our street. Our other scorer lived like 2 miles away. So we would always get huge games going in that thing. We turned the radio on and we'd play till 3 or 4 in the morning. Our parents knew where we were. They could hear us. And we would play games all summer long.
What's your hometown again in Ohio? What's the hometown?
Well, I always say Warren is my hometown. That's not it. It's a little town called Mecca,
Okay.
which is near Cortland. If you're familiar with that area, Mosquito Lake. Mosquito Lake, actually, my road that I lived on was Hazelcraft. I think it's 1303 is where I grew up. So it's just a dead end L street. So if you took that road straight in, you would go right into Mosquito Lake. So my school was Cortland. If you're looking up uh, the official name. It's called Cortland Maplewood. Everyone around us just called it Maplewood, and you knew exactly where it was. But no stoplights in the town. We had a circle. We had a local grocery store. We had one restaurant, and we had like 4 bars. And then we had a knockoff Dairy Queen called Twisty Treats. So no, but literally no, not one stoplight in town. So it was
Awesome.
definitely a rural area, and I'm very proud of coming from that area, just because. A lot of blue collar people came there. And then, if you remember, a few years ago, Lordstown General Motors, right? Lordstown plant that Trump fought so hard to keep, and they started making, I think, the cobalt there.
Yep, yep.
That was in our conference. That Lordstown High School was in our conference, and arguably the nicest high school in our conference, just because they had all that General Motors
Yeah.
money. So they had the nicest gym, they had the nicest everything.
Hey, appreciate your time. Great tour of the field, by the way. And coming, we're getting close. I've kind of teased it. We're going to get the schedule around the corner. I'm looking forward to getting your comments on that when that happens
Yeah,
in about a week or so.
you.
How about that?
So you've seen it too?
Well, I heard about it. Put it that way. I haven't. It doesn't go out to the
I
21st.
may have a copy or something. So, but yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, the
I'm
season,
playing.
the
I'm
schedule
playing.
came out.
I'm playing dumb here, like as if I have a just. Let's play along with you. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, obviously we're gonna get it before the generalized public, and there's still tweaks happening, and that's why we have to have behind the scenes stuff that goes on. So,
So,
but
well,
yeah, I mean,
we'll
it's
catch up
is what
then.
it is. Yep,
We'll catch up. Hey, thanks for your time, Mongo, and go back and do what you were doing. Go back to hit the phones now.
you got it.
There
That's
we
where I'm
go.
gonna go. Thanks, guys.
There we go. There you go. Steve Montgomery right there, taking the time to join us right there. Always appreciate his time, man. That was one of the best Mongo Cam. It's the best Mongo Cam we've ever had. We've only had it a couple times, but having him go out in the field there and check all that out, that was great. Explorers Expresso, Dan Vaughn with you. If you're on the podcast, I'm sorry you didn't get a chance to see that in its lush greenness. If you're on the video side, you saw how great that looked. It looked great. And by the way, you folks on Instagram, sorry I didn't press start earlier. This is the first. We're broadcasting on Facebook. We're also on YouTube, my personal YouTube, because the club's YouTube is kaput. We're on Instagram right now. And I started Instagram in the middle of the interview earlier. I do apologize. I've never gone Instagram live from my browser, so that's one reason why we didn't get that. But you folks in the podcast, again, it was very green. Trust me, very, very green here on Explorers Expresso. And I look very much like fall. Unfortunately, here in the DFW where I'm at, it's like 88 degrees. It looked very fall-like there in Iowa. But let's play catch up here. What did we miss here earlier? Let's go back here. And again, one more time, because we only got about 10 more minutes or so. Again, the question, how do you guys feel 39 sleeps later? How do you feel 39 sleeps later? Okay, I think Mongo sort of answered sort of the way I did. I told you guys earlier, you know, as time slowly moves along, the focus widens out. You heard him say the same things: offense and the stolen bases, the clubhouse, the culture, those things were really good. The pain of that last day still stings, but where this thing's headed and what you can do, I think he sees. I think we all see it. It's out there for the taking. And I think as you step back, you got to recharge. We can't live on 25 anymore. We got to go to 26. And I love that, just for that same feeling. Let's see here. Robert says, greetings from South Carolina. Good to see him out in South Carolina. Kevin says it just came out that Seamus's contract was extended through 2028, as it should have been. I don't know why it wouldn't have been, but it should have been. Kevin Luco, who does the best. Kevin Luco covers our league every day all year. I mean, it's what he does. That's what he does. He is a phenomenal journalist and is on the inside know there and knows George well. But King County would be crazy not to extend George Samus. And George, who's a dear mate of mine, love him dearly. Congratulations on that right there. Jason, missed the beer. I missed you, beer. I missed the beer leaders, man. I miss all you guys. I mean, I miss all you. I missed you all. I missed you all. I have. Let's see here. Brett says, I was just saying this morning I miss DB. What a nice surprise. Is a nice surprise, my friend. Is a nice surprise to have you. I'm glad to see you there. Ethan, good afternoon. Good to see Rick out there. Rick Stewart says, gentlemen, how you doing? Looks like I've got pretty much everything caught up here. Steve added, field looks great. A lot of great memories of that park. Bobby Post for mayor. Amen to that. Amen to Bobby Post. I'm going to be talking about Bobby in a moment. Robbie says missing LCP. And Big Nate, are we running it back one more year? Question mark. I think that's the question he's got to answer. I would not be surprised having run it back one more year. Explorers Expresso, I'm Dan Vaughn, and glad you're along. All right, a couple things here. As I mentioned, the schedule is in the oven, right? And I will admit, I have seen a draft. Okay, that's all I can tell you. No, I don't know if that's official, but I've seen a draft. Um, I'm pretty confident in telling you. Well, I'm not. I'm confident to tell you we'll be home 4th of July. I'll tell you that. That's always the thing. But I'm confident in saying that the schedule is going to probably be out next week. I mentioned in the open, probably Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, more likely on Tuesday. When it comes out, uh, we will have a live show. By the way, Jason says, DB, no frame jersey yet. No, it's in my, actually, I have to show you what closet it's in. Let me give it to you. There we go. Max is asleep. It's over my shoulder, right there where it says, welcome to the dugout. Welcome to the dugout. I guess I should look at the camera. Welcome to the dugout. It's in that closet with all my jerseys, but I realized I may need to do some kind of backdrop there. I'm experimenting with a secondary camera. I want to use two cameras when I can. And I need to do some kind of. I'm not sure I'm going to work it. I may put it a little higher. I've actually even had an idea of a little drone camera kind of follow me around, but a little pricey. So if I can get some other endeavors going, maybe I can do that. That kind of deal. So again, I'm going to bring this back down again, but you guys can see me here. So we move things around. Let's see. I just ran into Bobby at Milwaukee Winter House. Did you? I was thinking this morning. This morning about 6:30 in the morning, I'm walking in the dark here at DFW. I had my Wednesday mornings are really early because I have a men's group at 7 a.m. for breakfast. So I'm up. It's early for me in the off season, and I'm up before my wife this morning, and I'm out. It's me and the coyotes, the neighborhood joggers, and the dog. I mean, it's crazy. It's a beautiful time in the morning, and I have a lot of time to just kind of think about life and people and all that. And I was thinking about the show, going to the head of my show, and I was like, man, I need to, I need to reach out to Bobby Post, and I will do that. Do I miss Sneaky's chicken? Jason says, absolutely, I miss it. As a matter of fact, Jason, DB has got a. I've got a thing in my head. It's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. I think I've got the concept down where you're going to have a podcast on wings. I imagine Sneaky's will be in that podcast. I don't know how often that'll be, but Jason did add that right there. So there we go. Explorers Expresso here on this Wednesday. It's our first show. It's kind of a soft opening. When you open a fancy restaurant, you have a soft opening. I didn't really pump this out with promotions and all that, but I thought, you know what? You guys will be kind of kicking it today and all of a sudden get a ping notification. Now, if you get notifications on your Instagram, on your Facebook page, and maybe if you follow me on YouTube, Dan Vaughn Jr., you can go there and also get this show on YouTube. I'm going to peek over at Instagram now. We've got a couple folks watching now. We've had quite a few join through on the Instagram side. Let's see. Barney Munoz stopped in. Let's see here. A couple other, there's like Carlos Diaz, former Explorer, jumping in. Just looking at some of the folks that chimed in here. We've not done this before. Hey, Tartokar jumped in there. We haven't done this. We've not done Instagram live videos, so I'm gonna have to go back and see how that worked out. But again, we're trying to get as much content out there. We may be the smallest market in the league, but I can tell you this. We're going to do these shows. We're going to cover our team as if we are the New York Yankees, the Los Angeles Dodgers, whoever, because I believe our fans deserve it. We're going to give you coverage. You're going to get guest information. We're going to have things going on. We're also going to do something in our podcast that you're not going to get here. Okay, now, when I left you off in September, we were doing our, Sioux City baseball flashback. I left you kind of in a lurch because I was hoping that we'd go for the playoffs, and I kind of crescendo with that championship final where you talk about those Sioux City Cornhuskers. We're going to have that on the podcast. So the only difference in the podcast and this, at least initially, at least the first couple of podcast versions we're going to have the Sioux City baseball flashback there. Now, when we get going a little further down the road, I'm going to visit a couple of topics baseball wise. I want to go through one that I did a couple of years ago, the story of the baseball. I think that's an interesting story about how it's changed and why the numbers have been up and down. We'll probably go into that a little bit, but we'll also start previewing what we're going to talk about next broadcast season during our baseball broadcast on KSCJNA Baseball.tv. But again, the podcast is where you get your podcast. Okay. Now, the schedule as we see it, I believe we'll see a live show next week, probably on Tuesday, and we'll have the entire schedule when that day comes out. Okay. And then we'll go it's about every 2 weeks, roughly. Roughly. Now there's going to be a stretch because we have holidays and we've got, you have travel and I've got some things going on and there's some things that kind of ebb and flow. But I want to have for you all on our next show, I will have the actual schedule, how it looks like, where we're going to be, because I only put together the first show, and then I have a sort of a framework because I don't know where we're going to be. And when the schedule comes out, when I planned this show, I didn't know the schedule was coming out next week. Okay. So now that I know that, well, I can sort of now plan accordingly. Okay. So we'll be able to give you a better detail who's going to be on now. On our scheduled show, we will talk to Tom Backmeyer. We'll chat with him about that and about where this thing is, because they're busy. Those folks are busy. You heard Mongo talk about it earlier. They're busy doing their thing, and that is a big piece of the puzzle. You've got to have once you get the schedule, you can start hitting the bricks, hitting the sales, getting the renewals, tickets, all that. Right? You start getting those groups. Maybe the big group that you had last year. They're looking for their group again, right? One of those, we've had several big groups that came out and they want to do it again, and they need to know what's available. Maybe last year they were July 10th. Let's just say we're on the road July 10th. They didn't know that, right? So anyway, that's where we are on Explorers Expresso. I want to close the show here on the live version. I'm going to close with this, and then we'll say good day for the time being. But I want to give you guys this. The Ronald McDonald House Charities, we were there. Bobby Post and I and Jen, his wife Jennifer, and I were there the day I left, as a matter of fact, back on September. What day was that, folks? It'd have been September 17th is when I left to come to Texas. And it's the last thing I do every year. And I want to thank you guys because I've not got the official total yet, but I want to first off publicly thank Bobby and Jen, because Bobby Post and our pitching coach and his wife Jen. There we are, right to the Ron McDonald House there in Sioux City. Thank you. We'll thank them publicly. They matched my donation this year. At last check, now I've not checked this morning, but as of last check last week, we were well over $1,000 we raised from the ball club. Our little ball club raised $1,000 on our broadcast. Bobby and Jen matched my donation, and we've had several others come in as well, and some others. If you would like to donate, go to the Ronald McDonald House Charities of Siouxland website. I can give you that real quickly here in the link. And all I ask you to do is when you do go there, bookmark. There's a place on your donation. You can bookmark it there. And let me put this on the screen, and I'll read it for you guys on the podcast side. But here we go. There we go. It's rmhc-siouxland.org. I'm going to put this in the chat. But again, for you folks on the podcast side, it's rmhc-siouxland.org. Now, I'd love to see, you guys, maybe it's a charitable thing for you guys. I'd love to see you guys add to our charitable donation. So if you're feeling inclined, I'd love to see you guys do that. But if you do, whether it be $2, $5, whatever it is you feel good about, please put on there on the little memo, Sioux City Explorers 2025 stolen bases or something to that effect. Okay, I'd appreciate it. Now, uh, thank you, Bobby and Jen. I said this earlier uh, several times over the course of the year, but I started doing this in Chicagoland back in 2015, I believe it was, at Northwestern downtown. I expanded there to Kansas City, was involved in Kansas City. I had some great support in Kansas City from the fans, but I never had anyone in the organization step up and say, you know what? I'm going to help out. You know what? I'm going to do that. Sioux City is the first place I've ever been where the organization said, dang it, we're going to support you. And I just want to say thank you to the Explorers. Thank you to Bobby and Jen. It means a lot to my wife and I. I was telling my doctor yesterday about this. He was like, wow, that's great. Uh, it's important to be bigger than oneself. And I just encourage you in the off season, as we show love, whether it be the Ronald McDonald House or whatever it is you support, whatever charity or thing you want to support, I'm for it, man. And if there's something you want me to support and just give you a shout out in the air, I'll do it. Because I really believe we must be bigger than oneself, must be the brand must stand above oneself. And when you think of the Explorers, I want people to think these people care about our community, which we do. We care about the organizations in our community, which we do. You know, we may not win social media team of the year, or we may not win broadcaster of the year. We may not win whatever of the year, but what we will do, we're going to give with our heart. We're going to show heart and show love. And if that's the award we get, if people notice that and say, you know what, they never win any awards, but you know what, I know those people care about people and they care about love. That's all I give a about, right? So thank you, Bobby and Jen. I love you guys dearly. I love you folks in Sioux City dearly. I miss you dearly as well. So there we go. Now I want to close with that RMHC, and I appreciate them for having us out, and always great with the Ronald McDonald House Charities of Siouxland. All right, last call here, as we are now right at an hour on the air. Again, if you want to catch this show in its entirety, you can go to our podcast. It's got a little extra there that we won't have here. If not, where you get your podcast, whatever. Make sure you like us. Get those notifications set for Facebook, Instagram. If you're following me on YouTube, it's on YouTube right now. Again, we're just giving you as much as we can. I've also got a couple. I like my set. But I got a couple of ideas for some set changes and some little odds and ends, and we're gonna have some fun with it. Coming up a little bit later on this fall, we have our Christmas special. I'll give you all the things that you should do, baseball oriented during the holidays, and just kind of chat about being thankful. And we'll sit around the tree and chat. That's coming. And of course, player news as that comes, we're going to have those on this show, but also on our channels. We'll have it on our website. You know, again, blowing our own horn. When we get signings of players, they go on our website. That player goes on our website. His bio goes on our website. We don't mess around. Our information's out there. We cover our team. It's there for you for a reason, to get you guys, to keep you guys warm in the wintertime in our hot stove. Okay, that's what I'm trying to do. All right. Okay. Big thanks to Steve Montgomery. Big thanks to you folks who stopped in. If you got anything to fire off, please do. If you would like to reach me, again, you can follow me at Dan Vaughn Jr. on X, Dan Vaughn Jr. Of course, all the team social channels. You want to email me as well, you can always email me as well at Vaughn, VAUGHAN, at xsbaseball.com. I'll put that on the screen. If you want to fire off that, I'm good with that. There we go. You can fire that off. Whatever it is, I'm here. I'm here for you. I'm here to chat, here to whatever it is you need. Let me make sure I got my email right. Yes, it's I got to make sure it's the right one. Yeah, there we go. Gary, I don't know, but there we go. There's your emails. One more time on the other camera. There we go. Other camera, other camera. You folks on podcast are going, I don't care, Vaughn, as long as I hear you, but we got two cameras working. Other camera. Max is still asleep. He's got his socks on so he doesn't slide around our sliding floors around the house like a skating rink. He's a good puppy dog. Love that guy. Love that guy. And again, back to me here in the camera. Again, always doing bells and whistles, aren't we? Okay, let's go X's time. You guys ready? I'm ready. You're ready. We're all ready. You guys ready for some go X's? and we'll give you a little goodbye jam as well. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Go X's. I'll see you next week, everybody.
Screams out loud. 'Cause each on the local family and friends will cheer night after night as the explorers leave their opponents out of sight. Hey, well, it's baseball Sioux City style. Baseball Sioux City style. Gonna conquer the league. Hold on to your seat. The explorers just won't be beat. All right, baseball Sioux City style. Baseball Sioux City style. Gonna conquer the league. Hold on to your seat. The explorers just won't be beat. Come on, everybody. Well, it's baseball Sioux City style. Baseball Sioux City style.